Help me to complete my first 1,000 subscribers. I'm sorry you had to find out like this, my boss said quietly. But people here have known for a while. That sentence landed harder than the affair itself. My name is Jonathan Pierce. I was 45 years old when I realized my marriage had been a rumor long before it was a confession. I worked as a regional sales director for a medical supplies company in Minneapolis. I had been married for 13 years. The moment happened in my boss's office, not at home. No dramatic reveal. No screenshots. Just a closed door and a tone people use when they've already decided you're the last one who deserves the truth. He didn't look uncomfortable. That should have been my first clue. He folded his hands and said, I didn't think it was my place to tell you. But it's been known. About a year. A year. I nodded like I understood, even though my body felt hollow. I thanked him. That part embarrasses me now. Home, nothing looked different. Same couch. Same photos on the wall. Same woman moving through the kitchen like we were roommates who shared a mortgage. She asked if I wanted dinner. I said I'd already eaten. That was our life. Polite. Efficient. Quiet. For months, intimacy had been replaced by routine. We went to bed at different times. Conversations stayed practical. Groceries. Schedules. Repairs. When I reached for her, she stiffened, then relaxed like someone tolerating a task. I told myself marriages go through seasons. I told myself not to be dramatic. The next morning, I didn't confront her. I went to work and noticed things I'd ignored before. The sideways looks. Conversations that stopped when I walked into a room. The way people avoided mentioning her name. That's when humiliation set in. Not because she cheated. Because I'd been the only one who didn't know. That night, I asked her directly, are you seeing someone else? She didn't ask what I meant. She didn't deny it. Yes, she said. Calmly. Almost relieved. How long? She paused. Does it matter? Yes. About a year, she said. Same number. Like a rehearsal. With who? She named him. A client liaison. Someone I'd shaken hands with at company events. Someone my boss had known about. I sat down. The room felt smaller. You let me walk into rooms where people knew, I said. You let me smile at people who were laughing behind my back. She crossed her arms. I didn't ask them to gossip. But you didn't stop it. She sighed, like I was missing the point. You were never really here, Jonathan. You were married to your job. I was working for us. She shook her head. You were convenient. Stable. That's not the same as being loved. The word convenient echoed. It always does, and my feelings. I asked. She looked at me without cruelty, which somehow hurt more. They don't matter to me the way you think they should. I slept in the guest room that night. Not out of protest. Out of clarity. The next few days were a blur. I replayed every moment from the past year. Business trips I'd extended. Dinners I'd skipped. Her unexplained absences. Her sudden interest in privacy. The way she'd smiled at messages and tilted her phone away. I wasn't angry yet. I was ashamed. Ashamed that my life had been office gossip. Ashamed that my boss had decided my dignity was optional. I went back to his office 2 days later. You knew, I said. He nodded. I didn't want to interfere. You let me represent this company, I said. While my personal life was entertainment. He shifted uncomfortably. I thought you'd rather not know. That was the turning point, not her affair. Not the gossip. The realization that people will justify disrespect as kindness if it protects their comfort. I stopped explaining after that. Home, I stopped asking questions. I stopped asking why. I stopped asking if we could fix it. Instead, I started separating my life quietly. New bank account. New passwords. Conversations with a lawyer that felt unreal but grounding. She noticed the change. You're pulling away, she said one evening. I'm pulling myself back, I replied. She scoffed. So you're just going to throw everything away? I looked around the room. The shared furniture. The shared history. The shared lie. You already did. The divorce wasn't explosive. It was administrative. Forms. Meetings. Calm voices discussing the end of 13 years at work. I requested a transfer to a different region. Not a promotion. Not a demotion. A boundary my boss approved it quickly. Too quickly did I in the new office. No one knew my story. I was just a guy doing his job. That felt like oxygen. Months passed. Slowly. Painfully. Honestly, she reached out once, said she didn't expect me to disappear so cleanly. Said the affair hadn't lasted. Said she missed my steadiness that I didn't respond. Not because I wanted revenge. Because I finally understood something. Betrayal isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Organized. Shared among people who decide you don't need to know your own life. If your pain becomes gossip, you're already surrounded by people who don't respect you, and dignity doesn't come from confronting every wrong. Sometimes it comes from leaving rooms where your absence is the only language people understand. I didn't lose a marriage overnight. I lost a year of my life to silence. And I won't give anyone else that power again.